Well, hello everybody, and happy National FFA Convention Week. I leave tomorrow with the Tri-Valley FFA, and I'm super excited to be going to National Convention with them. But before that, I have to do some reflective blogs and capping off this last week of classes so I can focus all of my energy on the National FFA Convention. So first, we're going to be talking about my problem-solving lab that I did. And as the name sounds, we had to choose one of the four types of problems, the approaches that you can use. So that's forked road, possibilities, factors, situation to be improved, and effect cause. So we had to choose one of those four different approaches, and we had to tailor a lesson to meet that and then teach it. So what I did was a situation to be improved, and I did it to some context is that the class is an 8th grade intro to ag class, and so part of the class is they do an ag careers unit, and so I'm going through what are some different careers, and then I even go into some interviewing, job application, like those kind of skills. And so for the situation to be improved, the whole class became interview coaches for two possible people. And so we watched an interview for both of these people, and then the students were assigned a person that they were the interview coach of, and they had to pick out things that they believed, okay, this needs to get better for their next interview. This was something you shouldn't do. Here's some recommendations, and then we talked through it. And so some of the things that I noticed, especially about problem solving labs, is you have to make sure that the right pieces happen in the right order during the lesson. So when I taught it, I had them watch the clips of their people who were interviewed, and then I handed out a piece of paper that they could write down their thoughts on, of what they thought their person did well, what they didn't do well, and what could be made better. But instead of giving them time to digest and think about what could be improved, I went right into a lesson talking about the different parts of a good interview, whether we're talking about eye contact, appearance, handshake, all those kinds of things. And so I know that if I was to teach that again, I would be flipping some of my lesson, because I want to make sure that students are given the chance to problem solve. They're purposefully not being given all the information so that they can try and figure it out for themselves. And so me giving them the information too quick defeated the purpose of problem solving. So when I go and teach this in the future, because I really did like the lesson, and thought it was a good way to make interview skills in that topic, instead of just a PowerPoint, a lot more interactive. And so when I do it in the future, I'll still have them, watch their person in their interview, and I'll still give them their piece of paper that allows them to, capture their thoughts. But right away, I want them, your first impression. You may have some background information, this you might not, but tell me, what would you do differently? What would you coach them up on? And so they would go through that problem solving of what they did wrong and what can be improved upon. And you go over that, have a class discussion, that kind of thing. And then afterwards is when I would give them my information to reinforce what they already know. And so taking away from this lab and what I look to in the future, in 2 weeks we have an inquiry based lab, and so problem solving and inquiry based are very similar, and they can kind of be grouped together. And so I'm definitely planning to use some of the skills that I learned in this lab to make my inquiry based lab better. But I would love to hear some of the approaches that you guys use, new and veteran teachers, what you guys use in your classrooms? What are some creative ways that you've gotten your students to be critical thinkers instead of just handing them the information? And so, if you like to comment, please do. I would love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.